It was the start of another busy day on the island of Sodor. Percy the small engine had just finished delivering the morning mail. "Now for a rest in the sheds," he said sleepily. Just then he heard an unfamiliar whistle as an engine pulled into the station. The engine looked around. "So, this is Sodor," he said. "I think I like it fine here." "Hello there," Percy peeped. "Are you here for a rail tour?" "That's right," said the engine. "I'm St. Paul's." "And I'm Percy." "Say, do you know of any stories about strange creatures and monsters on this island?" "A few. Why is that?" asked Percy. "Well, I'm chock full of them," said St. Paul's. "Tell you what, tell your friends that I'll be at their sheds tonight to tell you about some of them." Percy agreed, but he was a bit nervous. He didn't like being scared. That night, all the engines had gathered in the sheds waiting for St. Paul's to arrive. "And you say he knows lots of stories about monsters?" asked Thomas. "Yes," said Percy. "Hopefully they're not too scary." "What's the matter?" asked James. "Are you too much of a scaredy engine to listen to a measly story?" "No, I'm not," said Percy. "Shh, here he comes," said Edward. "Hello, you lot," said St. Paul's. "Glad you're all here." "Percy said you know lots of stories about strange creatures and monsters," said Thomas. "That's right," said St. Paul's, "and tonight I'm going to tell you my favourite story." The engines listened with excitement. St. Paul's began. "This is the story of the Black Dog. Black dogs are large dog-like monsters with mangled pitch-black fur and large glowing red eyes. Legends say that they've haunted these isles for hundreds of years and are servants of the devil himself. Black dogs are omens of death, so if you cross paths with one, your fate will be sealed." The engine stared with amazement. Percy's siderods rattled with fear. Later that night, all the engines had gone to sleep, when suddenly... "Ah! Help!" Percy cried. What is it?" yawned Thomas. "A black dog from St. Paul's story. It was right here." Thomas looked around. "I can't see anything," he said sleepily. "You were probably just dreaming." "Oh," said Percy. "I suppose I was. Dreams do often feel real, though." "That's true," said Thomas. "One time I dreamed I turned into an elephant." Percy laughed. "That's silly," he said. "It'd be silly if it actually did happen." The next evening, a fog had settled over the island. But, fog or no fog, work still had to go on. Percy was taking the evening mail train to the docks. Then there was trouble. A signalman waved Percy down at the point leading to the docks. "The points have jammed," said the signalman. "I've called for a workman to fix it, but it'll be a while before he comes." "Flatten my funnel," Percy grumbled. "That means I'll be late with the mail." "Sorry, Percy," said the signalman, "but it can't be helped." "We'll give you a hand and try to fix it," said Percy's driver. "Thanks, mate," said the signalman. Percy's driver and fireman had been gone for a long time. Percy looked around, trying to entertain himself, but his thoughts kept drifting back to the black dog from St. Paul's story. "There's no such thing as a black dog," he huffed to himself. "That's right, it's only a story." Suddenly, through the fog, he noticed a large shape in the distance. It seemed to be getting closer. "There's no such thing as a black dog," Percy stammered. As the figure drew closer, he could make out dog-like features, matted fur, and glowing eyes. Percy shuddered in fear. It's a black dog, he peeped. Help! Someone please help! Percy's driver and fireman and the signalman came rushing over. What's all this about, Percy? Asked the driver. Black dog! Squeaked Percy. The driver and fireman turned around and saw a large dog trotting towards them. Well, you're a big lad, aren't you? Said the driver. The dog wagged his tail and barked playfully. Well, said the fireman, here's your black dog, Percy, but he doesn't look deadly to me. Percy laughed. But he is rather big, he said. Now then, said the signalman, I wonder where his owner could be. Just then, a farmer came rushing down from the nearby hill. There you are, Nigel, you stupid thing, he said. The dog yipped excitedly to see his owner. This here's me Irish wolfhound, Nigel, the farmer explained. One of the horses startled him, and I've been running after him. Percy thought he was a mythical black dog, said the driver. A black dog? Said the farmer. Oh, no, not Nigel. He may be big, but he's as gentle as a newborn lamb. Nigel barked in agreement. Just then, Salty rattled up. Avast there, shipmates, said Salty. I hear there's some points that need unjamming, so I brought these workmen to do just that. Soon the points were mended, and Percy set on his way. The next morning, St. Paul's Railtour train was ready to leave the station. Percy came up. St. Paul's, said Percy. Hello, Percy, said St. Paul's. Come to see me off? Yes, said Percy, but I've got a story to tell you now. And he told St. Paul's about last night's events. St. Paul's laughed. Well, that was a bit of an adventure for you, wasn't it? Percy agreed. Say, he said, you don't really believe all those stories you tell, do you? Nah, said St. Paul's. I know they're not real, they're just for fun. If there's something real I can tell you, it's this. The only thing you can really be scared of is your own imagination. Percy heartily agreed.